Good day, doodlers, and welcome to Draw Cartoons. Quite recently we hit that 20,000 subscriber milestone, guys. Thank you so much for getting us there. That's so awesome. I'm really glad that you guys are enjoying the videos and finding them helpful. Today I want to show you guys how to draw one of my favorite iterations of Link, possibly my actual favorite version of Link, known simply as Toon Link. By the way, Nintendo, when are we gonna get another Toon Link game? It's been a really long time. Anyway, I absolutely love Toon Link's very simple design, from his oversized head to his very kind of simple and small limbs. And soon you two will have absolutely no problem drawing the hero of the seas. If you do end up enjoying this video or find it useful, a like on this video would be super appreciated. And also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more videos just like this one in the future. Alright, let's get started. Okay, I think you're going to have a pretty good time drawing Toon Link. He has really fun proportions. Sometimes when I'm practicing, I just draw Toon Link because he has that kind of, I guess, epitome of cartoon design. Starting with a really big round head just like this. All I've done is just gently sketch in the shape of a circle. Doesn't have to be perfect, as always. But what you do want to do, because he's facing us, you want to cut a line right down the middle, like that, so that we've got a line of symmetry. As you can see, there's a portion of his face on this side, and a portion on that side. And what we would usually do is cut a line through the middle this way, but we're actually not going to do that. Instead, we're just going to cut a line below that, just gently around here. See how that's a bit closer to the bottom of the circle than the top, and that's where the bottom of his fringe is going to be, his kind of like, his bangs, his hair here. That's where that's going to be. It's just kind of below the midpoint. So what we'll do is we'll crack on with the rest of the anatomy and then we'll draw the face. So underneath that circle that we've just drawn, you want to loosely kind of sketch in a rectangular shape for his body and the very bottom of his tunic. You want to give this a bit of a curve as well. Look at that. You want to give it a bit of a curve, bit of an inward curve on that side and an outward curve on that side. It's really subtle. You can definitely overdo this very easily. If you do overdo it, don't worry, because cartoons quite frequently benefit from over exaggeration anyway. So to place his arm, all you have to do here is just draw a line that angles out and then drops down. And for now, you can just draw a light rectangle to symbolize where his hand's going to be in a bit. And while we're on the subject of arms, just draw a triangle that comes out to here and ends roughly about there. See more or less where his belt's going to start, and another blob just to symbolize where his hand's going to be there. Don't worry about the accuracy of these blobs. We're going to draw right over them very soon. Now while we're down here, we may as well draw the belt. So all the belt is a couple of lines across the torso, very gently sketching in these lines from left to right. Just that's because it's the way I like to draw them. And then in the middle of these, you want to draw a circle, and the circle obviously has that rather trademark spiral pattern in it on the buckle right there. There you go. So the spiral is in that direction. Okay, it's kind of like if you were drawing from the inside to the out, it would be clockwise, or anti-clockwise if you're going from the outside to the in. But yeah, try and get that direction right there. At the very top of the torso, there is a triangle pointing down towards the very center, down towards the buckle, and that's kind of the vest of his tunic. And if you want to at this point, to save yourself some time later, you can draw a small semicircle at the very top, which is where the light green of his undershirt begins and then ends at his neck. So again, while we're kind of down here, we may as well draw the legs. Now the legs are super simple, but there is something you have to keep in mind here. They have a very simple shape, but the knee actually causes the leg to jut in a bit. It's not just a straight pair of lines down. No, it's not like that. When you get to about where the knee's going to be, you actually want to go inwards and then finish off with a point for the foot underneath. Then bring up the calf, bring it in a bit, right where the back of the knee would be, and then thicken it out for the thigh. Thighs are usually thicker, even on cartoons. Not necessarily, you know, some characters have kind of noodle anatomy where the limbs just literally look like noodles. And again, on this side, you want to kind of do this odd shape here for the back of his knee, bring it out for a point for his shoe, and then bring it back up just to the end of his tunic there. I actually overshot it a bit there. But as you can see, very easy to make mistakes here, but just try and get a natural shape that goes up. Natural-ish anyway, not necessarily natural, but natural-ish, because he is a cartoon, and honestly there is lots of room for quote-unquote error when it comes to a cartoon's anatomy, because you don't have to worry about getting things perfect. I mean, his feet are literally they just end in points, and they're so small. That's kind of what I'm talking about here. You don't have to worry about getting things perfect, but so long as that line goes underneath the end of the tunic. And also another really important point here is to make sure that both of the legs have a more or less equal thickness to each other. Try not to have one leg that's like really thick like this, but then the other leg is really, really narrow. This is a really, really common error for people who are new to drawing. So just try not to do that. It's really easy to do that. Try and get limb thickness quite consistent. So we've actually gone ahead and drawn more of the lower body than I expected to. I wanted to kind of go in and draw the head straight away, but we'll draw the head now. We'll draw the head now. So I like to start with the eyes. So what we'll do, his eyes have a very unique shape where you're better off drawing this upper eyelash like that. It's almost like a chevron that's pointing upwards a little bit. And then underneath it for the bottom eyelashes is kind of the same, but it's a bit thinner. And then in between these, you just kind of want to draw an oval like that. And if it helps you, you can kind of shade it in, because his eyes are just like a deep black. There's no iris. It's all kind of just pure pupil going on there. So that is easier said than drawn. I've drawn it in my first try because I've done it a few times. Like I said, sometimes I like to practice simply by drawing Toon Link. But this shape is not necessarily easy to do, and we want to do it on the other side as well over here. This one's going to have a little bit of an angle to it because his head is actually turned slightly to the side. Only slightly though, which is why I kept that line of symmetry in the same place, just for the sake of simplicity. But what I'm getting at here is you want this eye to be a bit smaller, tiny bit smaller, and a little bit further from this line here than that eye is. And immediately we get this impression that he's turned his head a little bit that way. Once you've done that, you can draw just a small dot in the center for the nose there. It's barely visible. And then a smile. And it's a very, very subtle smile. You want the curves to be only very, very slight at the corners of the mouth. The eyebrows have a lot of room for error. You can just draw these big wedges. You can draw the eyebrows any shape you want, actually. Here, he's got kind of like a determined expression. But you can honestly kind of go for anything you like here. You can draw some sad eyebrows if you want. Maybe he misses grandma's soup or something like that. I don't really know. It's your drawing. So now for the hair. So as I said before, the fringe comes down to about this. What I want you guys to do is to draw a sweeping line from here, that's the edge of his hair, across the eye, across that line in the middle that we drew, and bring it up to about here, this section here. Okay? Roughly about there is where you want that. And then you can have a little bit of fun with this by, it is just hair, so it can take almost any form you want really. But the actual form it has is a big yellow sideburn that goes down the side of his head like that. And what that leaves us with, if you draw that flat there, it leaves us with a bit of room to draw his ear. Now his ear's got a bit of a funny shape to it, but it's got a point there. It goes in a bit in the middle, and it comes back out a bit at the earlobe. And if you want to draw the inner ear, it's just a line that points out towards the edge, and another line that points down towards the earlobe. And it's that simple. That's something that I love about his design. Lots of simplicity and not much overthinking going on. So we'll finish off the hair. The hair, thankfully, is quite easy. It just kind of follows the shape of the circle that we drew earlier with a small bump here for the parting. But otherwise, honestly, you could overlook that if you wanted to. And he's got like a double flick at the end. So one that comes out this far. And as you get to the circle again, you want to stop. And then you want to start again up here and draw it out to that point that we started a moment ago for the beginning of the hair, the beginning of the whole thing that we just drew. Now his face is a bit wide looking at this point, and that's because this part of the circle is superfluous. We don't actually want this bit of the circle here. We only drew a circle for simplicity's sake, really. But the edge of his face actually comes down from about here, and it curves across the circle that we drew. So very delicately, just kind of bring it into the circle. You might want to leave a slight point here for the chin if you want to. He doesn't really have a point, but I think he actually looks better with one. It's up to you, but it's very, very slight either way. And you just want to guide that line back in underneath that sideburn there. As a matter of fact, I've actually drawn this too far out, so I'm going to erase it. And there we go. Begin a bit. There we go. That automatically looks better. Now that's slimmed it out a bit. The top of his head was looking a bit too thick. 200 IQ kind of head looking there. So another sideburn over here. This one kind of hangs out. It's kind of blowing with the wind. He is kind of like the hero of the seas, but the wind waker. You know, he's all about controlling the wind. So I think that is conveyed in a lot of his artwork. A lot of Toon Link's artwork. That's just an ear that I've drawn there, by the way. a lot of Toon Link's artwork is, it looks like he's being blown by the wind, and I think it's very intentional by the artist, because it's very thematic. So this is just part of his hood. His hood is just kind of like, you can draw that any shape you want, which is why I just kind of winged that. But it looks good with it kind of swaying a bit and then dipping down. And obviously we need to draw the other part of his hood, which is the bit just sitting on his head up here. It goes around past his ear, and it tucks in just at the side of his face there. And that's a pretty good Toon Link head. That's one of the better ones I've drawn, I think, actually. I'm pretty happy with that. So now what we want to do is just kind of bring his neck in. His neck connects a bit with the triangle that we drew earlier. Now his neck's sticking out a bit and his shoulders are a bit flat, so what we can do is we can repair this quite easily. Bring his shoulders up like that, and now we have more of a natural direction to his shoulders. So we're actually going to ignore the guideline that we drew earlier. It was just kind of there for structure sake, rather. Third try lucky. But we've got this kind of angle going on here, this kind of diagonal sort of. There we go. That instantly looks a lot better. So now the arms, the dreaded arms, this is a lot harder. But, well, the arms themselves are pretty simple, actually. You've already kind of drawn the outside of the arm. And so the inside of the arm just starts here, and it gets just a tiny, tiny bit thinner as it comes to the hand like that. So the arms themselves aren't too bad compared to hands in general. This is one of the reasons I wanted to draw Toon Link, is that his anatomy is generally quite forgiving and quite simple. So you want to get like a crease here. Draw these lines that kind of point in towards the center of the arm. If you imagine the arm as a big Pringles tube, try and, you know, if you were to bend a Pringles tube, you get this kind of crease going on here a bit. Good luck bending one, by the way. They're actually surprisingly robust. Don't ask me how I know that. So this hand is just kind of resting on his hip. So what you want to do is we've got a little bit of a wrist sticking out here. Now for the palm, we're just going to draw a little, I guess, a curve like that. And then a finger, his pinky finger, curves out and then goes back towards the body like that. And that's all you have to do for that hand. It's pretty straightforward. Might take a couple of tries, especially if you're new to this kind of thing. But don't worry, art is all about doing it again and again and again until it takes you less time to do it. Or you're more likely to get it first try. That's art for you. So this hand's a bit harder. But I'll walk you through it. From this point here, from the edge of your sleeve, you want to bring down a curve that's basically going to become his thumb. So stop there. All it is a curve that points down towards the kind of the guard of the sword, and then bring it back into almost like this J shape into an index finger that juts up towards the wrist and stops. And the rest of the hand you can simplify by just drawing, because all the fingers are clenched around the sword, so you can just draw a line straight up like a right angle right there, and straight back up to the wrist like that. And now we can basically draw the sword around it. Now what I like to do when I'm drawing weapons is I like to picture a straight line first and then draw the sword around it, because if you don't do that you can end up with a really curvy sword. And that's okay if you're drawing something like a scimitar, but we're not drawing that. We're drawing a standard straight sword. So you can draw a little circle here for the end of the sword if you want. You can kind of get that done if you're in a hurry. But as for the rest of the sword, I like to plan ahead. So if you want to get a ruler or use your software by, you can click and hold shift like this, it'll create a perfectly straight line. Now I want a line that goes to about here, right? That's going to be the end of the sword. That's going to be like the point of the sword. So we now have a direction for our sword. So we want our sword to be symmetrical either side of this line. And I'm about to show you what that means exactly. So we're going to draw the guard of the sword. Don't worry about it looking a bit messy here. It's basically like a sausage with some points at the sides, like that. Okay, and you've got a bit of overlap here, but don't worry, that's why we work in pencil, that's why we work in something that's not so destructive. So you can draw a little bit of the handle here if you want, and because the thumb is kind of going over it, you can correct it, just kind of bring it in a bit. Tickle your drawing with small erases and small corrections until things kind of wrap around. But what you're looking for here is, and I have done a tutorial on how to draw hands holding things, by the way. If you're interested in that, I will link it up here. Click that link if you want to find out how to draw hands holding things. I've done a quick lesson on that, as I said. But what you're looking for is getting the hand looking like it's actually holding the sword here. Try your best, because it's only a small detail, it's only a small part of the drawing, but it is worth getting right. And now with your ruler, here you can do the fun part. An easy way to do this is to draw all the way to the edge of the sword like that, down across that line that you drew earlier, and then back to the guard like that. Now we have got a lot of overlap here again, but don't worry, overlapping is very much a part of drawing. And then all you have to do is just get rid of the very, very corners of this and turn it into a point. There you go. Now, a lot of this doesn't have to be here. This is actually going to be behind him, because in the official artwork, it's behind the character. So you can actually erase parts of the sword that go over your drawing here. There we go, because the sword's kind of resting behind him. And now for some final finishing touches. So he's got his scabbard here. He's got the kind of the sheath for his sword, just kind of resting over his shoulder here. And then here we've got the edge of his shield. And this is all kind of shaded in here, so you can kind of just cross-hatch it a bit to make it nice and dark looking. And there we go, your drawing of Toon Link is pretty much done. I'm just going to tidy up some of these guidelines here, because they do get a bit messy. That's one downside of drawing with a pencil, is that it can get a bit messy, but I think the level of being able to go back and correct your work as you go is well worth the slight messiness. And if you can't see through the messiness yet, with time you'll learn to kind of ignore the guidelines as you work. If you can already do that, then kudos, you've already surpassed a certain I guess barricade to learning to draw is seeing past those guidelines. Anyway, as you may have noticed, this guard is actually a bit wonky. So again, the power of the pencil allows us to kind of correct that. If you want to fix that, if you're a bit of a perfectionist, there you go. So give that a bit more of a right angle with the actual blade there. But there we go. I'm pretty satisfied with that. So I'm going to get this all polished off and finished. You should go ahead and do the same if you want to. Either way, I'll see you guys in just a sec. And there he is. A very simple color palette as well, which is pretty fun to work with. Lots of greens and yellows. Just another part of his appealingly simple design. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please let me know in the comments down below what kind of video you would like me to do next. And if you didn't already, liking and subscribing to this channel goes a really, really long way. Alright, I'll see you next time.